Hey, welcome everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday. That means it's time for Sci-Fi Distilled. Welcome back, Mary Beth. How has been your
Hello.
week since we saw you Friday?
We just saw some Royce tie-dye sci-fi. Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Recovering. Vacation starts tomorrow though, so
Oh, are you on
little
vacation?
mini vacay. He ain't going to Maine for a long weekend.
Oh, that's good. That's
So.
good. You survived the 4th of July, I take it.
What's that?
You survived the 4th of July.
Oh yeah, I didn't do anything. I worked the second job there, my little side business.
About it. Well, it's a popular time of year for that second job. So
It is. So, a lot of air conditioning repairs.
That'll happen.
So anyway, this week we decided, because it was 4th of July and the country's 250th anniversary or birthday, we thought it'd be kind of fun to revisit the Omega Glory, of course, where Kirk gives his famous E Plebiscitum speech of "We the People," the preamble to the Constitution. But we're going to take it. We're not than just talking about the episode. We're going to talk about, so what happened to the planet after he left?
What happened to the girl in the
We're going to call it the Kirk Effect, because he does this. And, I'm thinking this might be good. If this works out well, we'll do this like once a month. We'll take an episode and what happened on this planet after they left.
After they left, they just went in their middle,
made a mess.
And then
they mucked it out, and then they left.
Yeah. So how did it all fall out?
So anyway,
that's what we're gonna do.
But before we get into that, I think we got a little bit of news.
We do have a little tiny bit of news tonight, and as always, Rizzo, I am interested to hear your opinion on the news. T2 Judgment Day is returning to theaters on August 28th. Well, from August 28th to September 2nd. To mark its 35th anniversary. And interestingly, Cameron, the director, said today, or actually not today, 2 days ago, T2 was made for theaters, and our lovingly prepared 3D version is coming back to the big screen, is the absolute best way to see the film. I think it's safe to do spoilers after 35 years, so spoiler alert, the good guys win against the AI superintelligence, and maybe that's the message of hope we could all use this summer. Rizzo, what do you think? Is that the message of hope we could all use this summer?
I don't know if that's the message of hope, but
I like that they beat AI. I mean, that's good.
I mean, it was a good movie. Certainly, I liked. I don't know if the 3D version is the one I'd want to see. I don't know. I'm really not a big fan of 3D movies.
You know what? Neither am I. It's never quite like.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I think it still falls into the novelty category. It just, until we get like full VR movies where like you're literally standing on the street when the stuff's blowing up around you.
Yeah. Our Oculus on.
Something like that. But I don't know if I'm ready. I don't really, the 3D with the silly little glasses. Of course, somebody who wears glasses, it's annoying.
It is annoying.
You have to put it on over your
contacts
glasses
in to see the 3D movie.
Well, I don't even. No, you just put it on. They usually fit over your glasses, but it's not comfortable. And
no, it's not. They slide around. It's not quite right.
It's not good. It's not good. So I'm not a big fan of the 3D. But overall, I mean, we know the story of Skynet. It is funny that every time anybody brings up AI, we always say, "Do you want Skynet?" Because this is how you get Skynet. So
and James Cameron also. Also must be like, do you want
Skynet? I hope we're never stupid enough to completely hand control of our nuclear arsenal.
Oh, I think it's too late, my friend. I think that might have already happened. I don't know.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that it does not make the decision to launch. It can't.
Better not.
I mean, it's computerized in the sense that the systems are computerized, but I imagine. We had that one fellow that used to volunteer at New Voyages that was one of those officers. What was his name?
Oh,
he used to bring his son up with him.
Yeah, Sean Taper.
Yeah, Sean Taper, right. So he was one of those officers that had to turn the keys, I believe.
Yeah.
Or he worked in the silo or something. Anyway, I think that is still the method. I think there are still people in those silos still having to. I could be wrong. I don't know. What do I know? And I'm sure if I did know, there'd be a black helicopter over my house soon.
Keep listening.
Yeah, so.
Keep listening. All right, moving on. Super Troopers. Go get your tickets, right? Meow. August 7th, guys, it is a free screening and Q&A on Thursday, August 6th at the AMC Grove Theater in Los Angeles. And they're giving away free tickets to that. I'm going to put the link in the chat in case any of you guys want to jump on an airplane and go get Broken Lizard.
I'll be in Vegas. I'll be close. I'll be like,
you'd be really close.
4-hour ride away. Just rent a car. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that.
I would love to do it. Here's the thing: is that it says you guys can read this article. There it is. It says that the Q&A is going to be kind of broadcast or otherwise seen elsewhere. So I've got to figure out how to see it near where I am. But whatever. I'm pumped. I love Broken Lizard. I think it's going to be awesome. Moving on, 7,000 people gathered in Bologna, Italy, to sing "Happy Birthday" to Mel Brooks and watch Young Frankenstein in like the city square. Like they rigged up this massive screen and everyone was just kind of sitting in the square watching Young Frankenstein. And I thought of you, Rizzo. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That is his best film.
It is his best
film. In my opinion, it's his best film. I mean, he made some great ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there are some close seconds, but that one, I'll still say that was. And actually, Gene Wilder actually wrote that.
Oh, did he really?
He wrote most of it. Yeah.
Did he write that one? Did he write what's the cowboy? Silver
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
No, he was hired in on that one. And he wasn't even, I don't even think he was his first pick for that role, if I remember.
Really?
There's a really good, if you have HBO,
what's his name, laughing together.
If you like Mel Brooks, on HBO, there is a 2-part documentary on his life. It's actually quite good. And he's in it because he's still alive. So he's
still alive.
So he gives part interviews, and then you see interviews from him out his life and, his whole, how he got where he was and doing the stand-up stuff and all that back in the day. So it's quite interesting. And then, of course, it goes into how he made all his movies. So.
Yeah, cool. Ex Machina, if you haven't seen that one already, it is now free to stream on Tubi. I highly recommend. I've seen it. It's a good flick. Over on Apple, we've got Pluribus, Silas, Severus, Murderbot, For All Mankind, Foundation, Dark Matter, Invasion, Widow's Bay, Monarch's Legacy of Monsters. The list of the Apple sci-fi hits goes on and on. They're all good. They are killing it in the sci-fi genre department, but fans have started to get antsy about one show in particular. Production on Severance Season 3 is expected to begin any day now. Ben Stiller, at the end of Season 2, Ben Stiller promised everyone the wait would be less than it was for Season 2. I don't think he's going to live up to that promise.
I didn't realize they were going to go Season 3. I thought that was the whole big.
You know what? Honestly, it had a nice endpoint, didn't it? Like it had a really nice.
I never watched it. I never got into it. I watched the first episode. Didn't pull me in, and I never watched it again. So I can't say anything about Severance. I know people love it, but it didn't speak to me.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Pluribus is really good. That's the one I'm waiting for the next season.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Pluribus, and I'm into Silo right now. I'm into Silo.
Silo's very good. I've only watched the one episode.
Yeah, there's only one episode. All right, moving on. At the height of its influence and at the peak of its powers, The Big Bang Theory on CBS was averaging between 18 to 20 million views per episode, which is a juggernaut, to be honest with you guys. The franchise is now turning its attention to its next upcoming project. Stuart fails to save the universe. I've already seen the ads for it. It's on HBO Max, and I've already seen the ads for it on HBO. This new adventure, Stuart fails to save the universe, shifts its focus to Stuart Bloom, played by Kevin Sussman. He's the comic book shop owner. Yes, I speak English.
Put that all together. You'll get it eventually.
Yeah, whatever. So the new show is going to embrace sci-fi wholeheartedly, doing it in a way the original series only ever referenced. They're going to be actually living out these adventures and stuff. The first episode of Stuart Fails to Save the Universe will be on HBO Max on July 23, with new episodes every week until the season 1 finale, September 24. I think I will go check that out. I don't necessarily miss Big Bang, but I kind of like their irreverent humor.
I watched Big Bang pretty much regularly. I didn't pick it up till like the middle of the run, but I think it needed to end though. I mean, it was starting to
went on forever and ever.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was so loaded with sci-fi references and pop culture references, and every episode was a delight. And then by the end, it was just like slogging through.
Well, they fell into the trap of the girlfriend
of getting them wives and children. That's the trap.
But it was always the the love interest that tension that always kept that going for a while. But they had more going for it than that. It was some people, it's interesting. You talk to some sci-fi fans and nerds, they actually found that they felt the show was making fun of them and found it like offensive. And I never really got that. I never, I'm like, you need to own your nerdship then, because some of this stuff was so on point with the show.
But the scene where she gives him the napkin with Leonard Nimoy, like that just lives rent free in my head.
Well, there's a little thing where they're buying the card game, whatever those card games was, and then he's like, "Oh, look, they came out with the collector's pack with this and this and this and this." And he's like, the guy's like, they're making fun of it, saying, "Oh, look, they give you this stupid thing." He's like, "Well, now I got to order it. You have to have it. You have to have the stupid." I'm like, I have to buy it.
And then the time when he bought,
but I have to buy it.
What did he buy? He bought like 2 transporter. I don't know, 2 toys, and like one was to open and play with, and the other was
transporter ones. Yeah, the old. They were the old Amigo with the you'd spin it and he broke it.
Yeah. I remember that. Do you remember the scene where they had the time machine?
Leonard Nimoy was never on the show, only his voice.
Yes, his voice was on the show.
Whereas many of the other actors were actually.
Oh yeah, there were a bunch of awesome.
I don't think Walter was, but George was. George
Will
was.
Wheaton was on. James Earl Jones was on. James Earl Jones was awesome. He's like,
Fisher
let me guess.
That episode.
You like Star Wars?
Yeah.
And Sheldon's like, yeah.
I like Star Wars too.
I like Star Wars too.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher was in that episode too.
Yeah, she was, and they were ding dong ditching.
And,
in its
Mark
heyday,
Hamill
that was
married,
such a good movie.
Mark Hamill married Sheldon, I think, wasn't it? Mark Hamill was the.
Yes, Mark Hamill and Will Wheaton was there.
Yeah, Will Wheaton's on a bunch. Yes, Will Wheaton's on a bunch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, what a good. Anyway, moving on. Finally, tonight, as we wrap up the news, this year, marks the 40th anniversary, which I can't believe it's 40 years, but somehow it marks the 40th anniversary of Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. Yep, the one with the whales, which is coming the same year as the franchise's 60th anniversary. For reasons that I don't fully understand, The Voyage Home is in UK and Irish cinemas later this year. It will be starting in September 4th. You can start seeing that movie in the theater there. I've heard nothing about anything here in the States. Are they going to put it back in the theater? I kind of hope so. Are they going to do anything special with it? Release a special edition or something? I don't know. But that movie did come out November 26th, 1986. So maybe later on in November. Rizzo, did we already do the one with the whales?
No.
Let's do it.
We haven't done. I don't know how many we've even done of the actual Star Trek movies, but yeah, we'll put it on the calendar.
We've done Wrath of Khan. That's really all No, we've done the motion picture and we've done Wrath of Khan.
Did we do motion picture? I'm not sure we did motion picture.
I don't know.
I don't think we did. I think we just done Wrath of Khan.
No, I don't blame us because Wrath of Khan is.
It's still the best one.
It is the best one. All right, that's all I have for news. Rizzo, are we drinking anything while we're talking about the amazing?
I have to say, I forgot to use the drink last week. We never put it up. So I'm going to just be lazy and put up the drink this week. So that was from last week, but it's also this week's. So it's called Death
That works. You can just
rename
it.
Liqueur, lemon juice, and
call it the Omega Glory.
Actually, probably not bad. So.
Scotch with ginger and lemon and honey. I got to think about how Scotch tastes. Scotch, whiskey, and bourbon all taste the same to me. So
yeah, they're all whiskey. They're all different.
That's why they taste the same to me.
Anyway, so that's the drinks.
Bill wants to know Strange New Worlds or Big Bang. Which one to watch on the 23rd? I don't know, man. I rarely get to see stuff live anymore. So
yeah, I don't watch. Doesn't matter. I don't watch it when it drops. I mean,
it won't matter. I'll watch something.
I'll watch Strange New Worlds until I can't handle it anymore. So we'll see how far they get. Is
this season 4 of Strange, and we got 5 coming, right?
I don't know if there's one more. No, I think this is. Is there another one after this? No, this is it.
Yes, I think there's 5, but 5 is this weird abbreviated shortened thing.
Oh well, whatever. Because you still got another season to start.
Oh yes, John. Yes. Wait, I might need to watch Strange New Worlds because it's going to be a whack season with puppets.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. awful.
And Bill confirms season 4, then season 5. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a whack season, and we're gonna have a lot to complain about. Like every week. Remember when we used to do that 3 minutes thing?
Yeah,
we might need to bring that back.
Yeah, maybe bring that just for that one episode.
Just for that one episode.
So all right.
Yeah, 6.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm right. 6 seasons, 5th season.
Any more
6,
news?
No. That's all I got.
That's all you got. So, all right. So, Omega Glory. Quick synopsis.
Dun, dun, dun,
They show up at whatever planet, something Omega 4 or something. I think it is something. And there's already a starship in orbit there. They're going to rescue. I forgot what was the starship. You know,
Exeter.
Is the Exeter? Right?
It was the Exeter by Captain something Tracy.
Captain Tracy. And they beam over and they find this is where just the uniforms and like powder
crystals,
and
then that's never mentioned again.
And that's never mentioned again.
It's yada yada.
If you ever go to up to the set tour at Halloween, we do that.
Yeah,
we lay out the uniforms and in the engineering with just the salt or crystals. Kind of funny. So apparently there's some disease that sucks all the water out of you, I guess. I don't know. And they discover from that if they beam to the planet, they'll be immune or something. So something on the planet or that's where they brought it up from the planet. But the people didn't stay down.
But if you just wait it out, it's okay. Like those guys,
they didn't know that at the time, though. They were there. So anyway,
the planet.
They beam down, and Captain Tracy's there. I think he's the only one left.
Captain Tracy, played by
the same guy that played Van Gelder.
Yeah, the same guy that played Van Gelder. Morgan Woodward, who played Van Gelder on Dagger of the Mind.
Sorry. So basically he's down there and he believes he has found the fountain of youth, because the people there are living hundreds of years. And this is another parallel Earth story. So the original series went to this well several times. This episode, the bread circus episode, the gangster episode, the Nazi
the sun, which at the end she's like, oh, the sun, this bread and circus.
Bread and circuses.
Look, I gotta tell you, of all the parallel Earth stories, this one was the worst. It was so yada yada, like it was so loosey goosey how they said, yeah, it's a parallel Earth, that's how it worked. No, they did not explain that to my satisfaction.
Well, they had very similar development up through
Vietnam War.
One would say the late 20th century, roughly.
Specifically the Vietnam War. They named it by name, I think.
And they did not. They used, instead of, I guess there was biological warfare as well as, or just, I guess they didn't really. Did they imply that there was nuclear war or just biological? But whatever it was, this biological warfare is what killed the crew of the Exeter. But what happened was over the millennia, I shouldn't say millennia, but hundreds or thousands of years since the war, the habitants grew a natural immunity.
It was a biological war.
Yeah, they developed a natural immunity to the disease. Which again, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but that's fine that the inhabitants developed that. But I don't see how just staying on the planet a little longer would immunize you.
Again, there's some yada yada
going water that became a natural vaccine. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But then again, I am not a scientist, therefore maybe I don't understand.
We need someone with some more medical expertise than us. Is this possible? Can you just outweight a contagion? No. A virus? Was it a virus, or do we know?
I'm saying why they killed everybody on the Exeter. What was the there was something on the planet that was keeping the disease in check until you were outside the planet's sphere of influence, and then the disease would run its course. But if you stayed long enough, you developed immunity to said the contagion.
Yeah,
that's what just doesn't really make any sense to me. But again, it's TV, so it doesn't need to.
Was it herd immunity? Like what? Yeah, you're right. It was.
Well, I mean, I understand that a population could eventually develop an immunity to it, like over millennia or centuries or whatever. But somebody just coming in new, it's like us, like we get like chicken pox and it doesn't kill us. But if you go to a place that's never been exposed to it,
chicken pox, you're about to kill
wipe them out. You'll wipe these people out because they have no natural immunity to it. You know what I'm saying? But we have kind of a sort of a natural immunity.
Bill says plot vaccines as opposed to plot armor. You're absolutely right. Martin, didn't they use part of this idea with the Baku? Did they use part of this idea with the Baku? I don't remember.
The Baku were an actual advanced society that chose to live. But no, there was something on the planet with that story that was a de-aging agent, whether it was the gravitational fields or something about, there's something about that planet that made everybody become younger and healthier. Whereas this is a different situation. This was nature overcoming something that man made. You know what I'm saying? It was nature balancing itself. But it took time. It didn't happen overnight.
The planet was healing. Yeah, you're right. So anyway, then what happened?
So basically, though, in this war, the communists or the Combs
and the Yangs
won the war, and the Yankees, the Yangs, the Western world lost, and they became basically tribal and. We're still fighting against the Yangs, who are clearly represented as Asian in this episode. Which again, that was very Star Trek-y for the time. Communist China. Clearly, they were the ones that won the war and were ruling the world. Although the world was technologically still pretty shot. I mean, it wasn't. They even the comms only had like rifles and stuff. It wasn't like they were super advanced or anything.
They didn't have much.
No. But Tracy was convinced that this was the fountain of youth, and so he was helping the Combs overcome the Yangs. Of course, by this point, we didn't realize it was communist and Yankees until the big speech at the end, which, the parallel was a little too much right on. I mean, literally the same
sort
exact.
Of yes and sort of no. Like for one hot second, you're like, oh, look at Star Trek being all progressive, painting white men as the savages. And non-white men as the civilized one. Look how wonderful. And then you realize, oh, no. It's the way they're painting white man as the civilized ones, as per usual. And you get really disappointed is what happens.
Well, I mean, it's just, it's an interesting story, and it gives Kirk a great speech to read what they had twisted as E pluribus unum to we the people.
But
with the preamble to the Constitution. But the whole storyline is
the Declaration of Independence and done the line, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I feel like that might have been a little bit better than we the people, because he's like, these words have to apply to everyone, including our enemies. And our enemies, like communists, largely not fans.
Yeah, no, I think it does, though. I mean, that's the whole that it doesn't, that it comes with the preamble. It does include everyone, not just Americans, it's everybody, whether you're here legally or not. That's the point. It's everybody.
I will give Star Trek credit for having the massive brass balls during the Vietnam War. This thing aired during the Vietnam War. To quote the Constitution and basically lecture the audience and saying, look, these words have to apply to everyone, including our enemies. Like, we have to comfort and help our enemies right in the middle of a war. Like that's awesome. That part was very good.
And that was very Star Trek to do that.
It was, very, very Star Trek. And anyone who's complaining that modern Star Trek is too woke, may I refer you to this particular episode? This is about as woke as it gets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were.
However, the episode still has a few little clunky moments that knock it down from being a 10 out of a 10. It has a few issues with it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, this is not the strongest episode because once again we have again a starship captain acting completely deranged, and literally gone mad. And again, these are supposed to be the best.
They go mad a lot.
But we've had a few. Decker kind of lost his crap. You got this guy,
the black guy that made M5. He lost his crap, I think.
Well, he wasn't a captain. He was just
whatever he was, admiral. He was an admiral, and he lost. No, he wasn't. Crap.
No.
What was he? Who was the guy that made M5?
He was just a scientist. He was just a scientist.
Okay. Oh, scientists can lose it, then. That's okay.
Yeah, well, he was because remember he was the one that invented the duodenic circuit at age 22 or whatever he was, and he spent the rest of his life trying to prove that it wasn't just an accident. You know, he had a lot of issues. There was issues going on.
Apparently, a
danger. Which is why the M5 was crazy because he was crazy and he imprinted his engrams on the computer, so he made the computer crazy.
So anyway, your point is these people keep going mad.
Right. So anyway, that's basically it. Kirk overcomes, yada yada. We won't go into. You guys know the story. We won't go into the whole thing, but he reads the story. So here's the thing, though. So they basically tell these people, hey, you've been holding this piece of paper that was meant for everyone and not just the chiefs. And you gotta apply it to everyone, even the comms. You have to apply it to them. And then they leave. We beam away.
And then they leave.
So what?
And in there, wait, before we talk about, and in there, really super quickly, Spock decides he suddenly has like telepathy or something, and mind influences the fur bikini girl that I'm referencing. And mind influences her to hand him the communicator or whatever.
She's
and
open.
Then that's never spoken of again. Are there any other references?
Well, sure, they've used. Well, he's used. I mean, he used that. He used actually.
He put his paws right on your face. This was like
no. Twice he did it without touching anybody. He did it in A Taste of Armageddon. He used it there, and he used it by any other name, and then but he got thrown back. Like her mind was too. He tried to. So he's able to kind of do it without touching them.
I'm gonna need to go back and relook again. I had zero.
No, he definitely did it.
Like,
in fact, I think it's in any other name. They mention it like, hey, when you did that thing with the guard, got the guard to open the door.
Yeah.
Can you do that again? And he tries it, but it doesn't work on what's her name because she's like her brain is like more powerful because she's like not it's really human.
All right, I need to go back and look because I was.
Yeah, so no, they did. They actually did revisit that he can do some without actually touching.
All right, I did not remember that, and I was having a moment of like, what is happening here? I don't remember him having this particular skill.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Taste of Armageddon. When they're and by internet, I know those two. He might have used it in other ones, but he also there is a multi-legged creature crawling on your shoulder.
The thing about that, did you notice how much the fights went on? And like Kirk fought with the two guys in the cell, her and the guy in the cell, Cloud William, forever. And it cut away to show McCoy doing stuff, and then it cut back to Kirk still fighting. And the whole time, Spock's like trying to get
through
words of encouragement.
I think Kirk does mention in that. He's like, hey, I'm gonna be able to keep this up, forever. We got to do something here. I can't, he's gonna kill me eventually.
Yeah. They can take turns.
Exactly.
One can rest while the other attacks you.
Exactly.
Keep going, Captain. Their behavior is highly logical, and so he's kind of like cheering them on from the other room. So anyway, Kirk does all this. Gives him the correct words to
so I'm saying this is my point. What do you think happens to this planet? Do they just go back to what they were doing before, or they say, "Oh, the mighty white man was here, and we have to believe what he says because he knew the words and he wasn't a devil."
They were calling him holy words too, which makes my skin crawl a little bit. I don't know if we need to mix our government.
Well, when you think about it. In that context, that almost makes sense that they would become.
If it was all they had, yeah, it would become.
It's like their Bible.
But that's a problem too.
But and then
the Bible, and he opens it to the picture, and the picture's basically it's the devil, but
it's always whenever there's a devil picture, it always looks exactly like Spock.
Whenever there's a devil, it's like a pointy ear guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do I think happened? Absolutely nothing. I think they're like, oh, this is how you pronounce this, and then 2 generations later, they couldn't pronounce it again.
Well, I mean, in this instance, I mean, we always talk about should Kirk, Prime Directive's been established by this point. I'm pretty sure they bring it up that Tracy should have got involved. And so, but Kirk, I guess to save his skin and the skin of Spock, he had to kind of intervene. At least that's Kirk does, right? He doesn't take one for the team and say, no, the Prime Directive, because they always say, which kind of cracks me up, oh, you have to give your life, even if your life is at stake and your crew, the Prime Directive takes precedent, yet it never does.
It never does. Never does. Remember when they were going to kill Wesley for jumping on a plant or something?
Right, because he fell through a planter or something. He fell through the greenhouse. That's some really good laws you have there. By the way, but it happened. You just happen to be in the zone of death, so you don't know where the zone of death is. So
yeah, when you don't know where the zone of death is. So Bill is asking what happened to the Exeter. So I guess they took Tracy into custody. I'm guessing they dragged his butt back to the nearest starbase to stand trial.
I assume, he went. I'm
assuming they towed the Exeter, or some skeleton crew went over and flew her back. I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine they would have to figure out a way to decontaminate it.
Yeah.
And then, I would imagine you're right. They either brought a skeleton crew aboard to.
And I watched the old one. I didn't watch
so there really wasn't any reason to tow it. The ship there was nothing wrong with the ship itself. Yeah. So they probably put a skeleton crew and hauled it back to wherever but I imagine in the interim, if they sent the crew down to the planet, let them stay there a while, and then be back to the Exeter, they would be fine.
The problem is every single person, they'll have to wear hazmat suits to board the Exeter until they can figure out what was causing it.
I don't know how they must have figured out. Maybe if they could isolate
at Starbase 14.5.
Maybe they just empty it all off and do a burying sweep. Remember that from TNG? The burying sweep.
Oh, God, yeah. And that thing went, the lines would go across.
I don't know. Maybe
and they'd have to run in front of it no.
Yeah.
I remember that. John Cape says that the Devil Page sold at an auction for thousands.
Wow, then.
Just the page or the whole product?
I guess it was probably, I don't know, was it a whole, imagine it was a whole book, unless it was just that and the rest of
it. Do they just slide the page in to match the pages of the book?
Sorry. So anyway, I don't know. I suspect.
What do you think, Rizzo? What do you think happened?
Because they never do follow this up, unless the Federation said, okay, you've already unzipped our fly.
You already screwed them up.
Yeah, so we're going to send in I could see them saying, okay, we're going to send in some advisors and stuff to help you continue, getting along with these people or rewriting your society, assuming they even wanted to. I mean, because they implied that the Yangs were animal-like, but again, it was kind of a very patriotic in a lot of ways to Americans, saying they wouldn't give up. They just kept coming. And then they said, because they go, freedom, it's a holy word, freedom. Remember that whole thing?
Freedom.
So the Americans would never give up, even though they were beaten, they were still, and they would keep coming and coming and coming. And they still came, and we killed thousands of them, and more, they still came, that to me was a little bit of flag waving, saying, look, the Americans wouldn't
a lot of flag waving going on.
We're going to give up. So yeah, I mean, we get the sense that they are in what would have been North America, since the Yangs are living there, and that the comms just kind of invaded. I get that impression, but I don't know. It seems
I don't know.
The only way I think that world ends up righting itself, so to speak, or somehow getting back on track, would be that they would have to agree that the war was, we're gonna work together, and I just don't see that easily happening, because the Yangs are kind of not civilized at all. I mean, they're living in, like I said, bear skins and whatever.
Yeah, she's in a fur bikini. Bill wants to know who would win today if they remade it. I don't know. I feel like if they remade it, it would feel a lot like For All Mankind, where
I don't know what you mean by remade it. Who remade it? Like,
rewrote who? Like if they remade the episode, we kind of rewrote the episode, Bill, or just remade the episode? Rewrote it. Yeah, I don't know. It could, it's gonna want to reflect whatever's going on nowadays, and I don't know.
I mean, it probably wouldn't be. Well, you know what? It would still probably, even today, it would still be communist China.
I was thinking that too. It would still be communist China.
Communist China is still the next big world power, with the United States. I mean, Russia is still up there, but I think China still has the largest standing army, period. And they have nuclear weapons. And so, yeah, I would think that it would still be China if war broke, major world war broke out.
Or they would completely reframe it and not make it.
Our China is more interested in making money than they are making war. I mean, they'd rather take us over commercially.
Economically, yeah.
Economically.
Which they already have. All our stuff's made.
Oh, hey, there's Brian from Tampa. How you doing, Brian? The original Buck Rogers stories had U.S. defeating. Yeah, there was some stuff. You mean the TV show, Bill, when they did the flashback? They were trying to point him as a traitor or something. If I remember, was that what you're talking about? Or some other stories? Or are you talking about the Buster Crabs Buck Rogers?
That's old Buck Rogers.
That's really old Buck Rogers.
The books. He says the books.
I never read the books other than the original Armageddon 2249, whatever it was. But anyway.
So what do I think happened? Yeah, unless the Federation moved in and said, all right, kids, we're gonna, I don't think much of any. I really don't. I think they kind of, maybe there was a truce for a time, but I think eventually old hostilities reawoken and the fighting continued.
They were implying that this war happened like hundreds or thousands of years prior.
Yeah. But I'm sure there was like a continued animosity.
Well, clearly there was, because
given the way they were treating each other.
The Yangs were still trying to get the Combs off their land, so to speak, or what they felt was their land. So that war technically was still going on in a much more downscaled.
Yeah, in a more like.
And they probably, the Yangs might have actually won had Tracy not interfered with his phaser. Because remember, he was saying thousands of them came, and we drained phaser, and they still came. And it's like, if they hadn't had the phasers, they would have overrun that town. With thousands of them, I would think they would have overrun them. So,
but then he asked for 10 phasers and 3 extra batteries. Like, that's not really.
Well, when you're up against spears.
Yeah.
I mean, phasers kind of like, that's a nuclear weapon against the pea shooter.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, clearly they were able to wipe out these people without any issue. But even attrition, no matter how powerful your weapon, I mean, I shouldn't say no matter, but you're having thousands of people attacking you, can only shoot so fast.
Yeah, you can only shoot so many so quickly. You're gonna get overrun.
Yeah, you're gonna get overrun.
They did studies on that, like what happens if there's a gunman and you guys and like people gang up, and they did studies. How many does it take to gang up? Shockingly few, and you can overcome.
Oh yeah, you can only somebody may get hurt or killed, but
someone might get hurt, but you'll get them down.
Yeah, you'll eventually stop. There's no question about it. It's just nobody wants to be the one that.
No one wants to be the one running at the
gunman. Nobody wants to be the unlucky one. So, they did overrun him, Chris. You're right, and but they didn't. The town was. They never made it to the town, right? I mean, or did they? I don't remember. They got him.
I don't remember. Yeah.
So, but anyway, the point is, well, we don't know how diminished the Yangs people were after Tracy wiped out thousands.
No, we don't know what happened yet.
But one would think that, I'm gonna guess not much, unless the Federation sent people there to try and rehabilitate these people and try to set them back on a civilized track for progress. I'm gonna guess when Kirk left, it went right back to the way it was.
I completely agree. I don't even think, it doesn't even feel like. Do you remember at the end of Mirror, and he tells Spock, find a reason, make it stick? I always wondered, did Spock find a reason?
In every revolution, one man.
Yeah. This one, I don't feel like there's a one man. I don't feel like there's a reason and they made it stick. I don't feel like there was any true impetus for change beyond him extolling the virtues of
Mirror would be another good Kirk Effect episode because I don't. They revisited the Mirror universe in DS9. It didn't seem like much change.
Yeah. I would do Mirror.
Like much changed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still the
Terran Empire. That was 100 years later.
Killing each other.
That's 100 years later.
Yeah. So yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't think much changed. If anybody in the chat disagrees with us, I want to hear your reasoning. Do you think anything changed on Omega 42 and a half? The writers on this episode, I really feel like they had really good intentions. They wanted to make an anti-war episode. They wanted to send the right message, but I don't know. It just feels like it missed the mark somehow. I don't know. It doesn't quite jive for me. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I agree. And this is a DC Fontana story. Wrote this one along with Gene Roddenberry. But yeah, you're right. They were clearly looking for make a statement about a third world war potentially. I think it's also a bit of a statement against biological warfare, which is theoretically has been banned by the Geneva Convention. Yada yada. I mean, but excuse me. It kind of goes off on a weird tangent. Until we get to this e pluralistum thing.
E pluralistum part,
which was supposed to be, I guess, and probably was at the time, kind of a you blew it up.
Shocking.
You blew
it up.
You all the hell. You blew it up. There's kind of a the revelation that but I think again, when even watching this as a kid, I was really tough to buy the parallel. It was so parallel that it was right down to the preamble to our Constitution was exactly the same.
Exactly the same words. Yeah, and it's the same Stars and Stripes flag. Yeah, it was just a little too on the nose with the parallel without any real reasoning as to how it developed that way, like why it was that way. Some episodes, it's like, so-and-so from Earth came there and was the influence.
Don't forget about the season 1 Miri, was also another parallel Earth universe where they invented there wasn't biological warfare. They were trying to unlock the aging process and stop people from aging. And it went horribly wrong and created just like the opposite effect, which is always, again, a good sci-fi trope. I'm trying to do one thing, but it does the opposite.
Everybody loves to do some good aging makeup in sci-fi.
Bonk bonk on a head. Bonk bonk. Anyway. But yeah, there's another one you can add to the list of parallel Earths. Now I know why they do it. It saves some money on sets because they can use, now this one really didn't, but in other ones they were able to use backlot sets and whatever.
Hang on. What did John just say? The race preservers. Do I remember the race preservers? Are you talking about the panspermia theory, John?
Preservers, they were supposed. That was the one. So the preservers. Okay, so they were the one. Remember the Miramani one, which is
Miramani.
The Indian with the American, with the American Native Americans there.
This is what I remember about Miramani. There's shots of Bill running around with his Dobermans on that set. Anyway, go ahead.
What is that? Is it Paradise Syndrome? I believe.
Paradise Syndrome. Yeah.
That one. So that one implied that was what the obelisk was put out by it's an ancient race that isn't around anymore, or at least that they can't find evidence of them being active. Is they went and seeded the galaxy with DNA from somewhere. Could have been, we assume it's Earth. Earth could have been one of its seeded planets. And that's why the theory is why there's so many humanoid races throughout the galaxy, is that they went and put all this.
Is this DNA. In Star Trek? This theory? Yeah. How have I been a Star Trek fan my entire life?
Yeah, they only ever bring it up in Paradise Syndrome. It does get revisited in TNG, I believe, in a few episodes. This theory. But yeah, that's kind of. But even that to so like in Paradise Syndrome, they literally took. I think in that one they're saying they took the Native Americans or and literally scooped them up and transplanted them to a planet that looked exactly like Earth.
John hates me now. I can't keep up with everything. I try my best, but there's so much other sci-fi out there.
They all look like Jeffrey Combs.
They all look like Jeffrey Combs. Yeah. John, in my defense, I have heard of the panspermia theory, which is a real life, like what the UFO enthusiasts believe, that we're all going to look like humans across the galaxy. But anyway. Yeah, I just didn't realize they had made
there is that theory. But okay, so the Native Americans were literally scooped up as a tribe, let's say, and then transplanted onto a planet that looked just like Earth. So they might have been aware that they were moved. So that's why their culture was the same. They kind of implied that was a theory that this was taken. They didn't develop that way. They were the Native Americans. So, but other ones like the Ecosians with the Nazi thing, okay, yeah,
the Nazi one.
But I mean, they had that was brought by John Gill, who brought that whole thing in right down to everything. But
gangster one,
that again came out of the book. That's
right, the book. They were emulating.
Which they actually started that. So Enterprise did. That's when Enterprise did some really fun stuff. So the ship was that brought it was the Horizon, which was the helmsman on Enterprise, Malcolm. No, not Malcolm. The black guy. I can't think of his name. He grew up on the Horizon, the ship, and there was the Horizon. That was his ship that
Anthony Montgomery. That's his name.
Visited the not Ecos, whatever the hell the planet was from Piece of the Action, and they're the ones that left the book.
Oh yeah, Piece of the Action.
So so from Enterprise, they kind of closed that loop of how they got the thing about the game.
And then they did the exact same thing on Next Gen, and Data and whoever, they end up in some like the Casino Royale, and there's a book. But
that's a little different. That was an American astronaut that somehow ended up out God knows where, and these aliens found him, and he had the book on him, and they just assumed that is what life was like on Earth. So they recreated the book for him, but they didn't realize that it was literally hell to live that book.
Hang on, I got to look at this link that John just sent us so I can be up to speed.
It's memory off of the preservers.
I got a memory like a sieve, guys.
So, well, apparently I don't because I remembered. I know what he was talking about.
Wait a minute, this is a Bill
galaxy with humanoid DNA does not still explain the exact parallel development and history.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, the Roman one was dead on, except the Roman Empire didn't fall. Like, why, these certain little things that just made, I mean, it makes more sense in a parallel universe standpoint. Like, so we're talking about, parallel universes, that there's just that one little thing that's different. It would have made more sense, but to have
similar
planets that are just because there's Earth-like planet and like it has, of course, the land masses are different, but they're the same ratio, and the air, everything's exactly the same.
Man, our chat's blowing up like these guys
moved to tribe. Yeah, that was a little different.
Kind of the same, but not quite.
Yeah, that wasn't the preservers, but they did do that. And again, that was against the Prime Directive as well, I believe, to do that. They were trying to fool those people, though. Remember, they put them in the holodeck and told them they were on some journey in a cave to get to a new land, and then they were going to beam them down.
What was the Irish people that were in the?
That was different. That was a colony that had.
That was a colony. All right. It's confusing. It gets confusing, man.
That was Riker got a leg up in that one. Yeah, he got a little Irish booty there. She's hot. Anyway, yeah, and that was the other planet on that episode was all clones because they didn't have enough DNA
maybe
to procreate normally. So they just kept cloning themselves, but their clones were degrading or something. So they eventually at the end moved all of them in together, the Irish people and the clones, to mix their DNA up natural way.
We should have had half our chat on with us tonight. They have got it down. Look at
Yeah, everyone in the galaxy was infected by the disease known as the trope. Yeah. So he got his feet washed. He got more than his feet washed, Chris. Uh-oh, Mary Beth's frozen. Is that me that's frozen and everybody else can hear me? I don't know. I'm going to keep talking. Anyway, so yeah. So the preservers could be, I guess, an excuse for some of this stuff. I guess if you had to come up with one. But yeah, I don't know. Mary Beth's still frozen. Frozen. Am I the only... Somebody in the chat, tell me if you're hearing me, because I don't know if I'm talking to myself. No. He also got his... Oh, so I'm sorry. I'm on... Oh, Mary Beth got booted. Okay. Thanks, Bill. He also got his hat blocked. Not sure what that means, but probably something not good. I wonder if Mary Beth had some bad weather or something, with these thunderstorms rolling in this time of year. But anyway, Mary Beth is frozen. Yeah, she dropped off of my feed here, so she's you guys are like a minute or so behind me. Thanks, Brian. Anyway, we are getting near the end of the hour. I'll keep talking. But anyway, the point is, let me know if you guys like this kind of conversation, because I'd like to continue it. I call it the Kirk Effect, and see, there's plenty of planets that he has visited where he kind of mucked about, and did he do good or make things worse for those people? So we know that certainly Picard has had his incidents too. It's tactful for horizontal enrichment. All right. So Bill liked it. Thanks, Bill. Oh, that's probably Mary Beth saying, I got a message here. Let's see what it says. StreamYard dies. Just you, sweetheart. Just you. So Mary Beth only has the finest of PC equipment at home. So she's talking to me on Facebook here. So let me see. Can you get back? Nobody wants to hear just me. So, and did Phil ever make it on? I don't see. Phil apparently had a lot of opinions, and he didn't. He never made it. So all right, be that way, Phil. Let's see what Mary Beth says now. She's trying to get back in. Okay. So anyway, it is 5 of. So yeah, we can do this again. What episode would you guys like to see? I mean, obviously we did this one, Omega Glory, because of the Independence Day recently, but I mean, we can start right back to, let's see, what would be first season that he would be a good one. Trying to think of a good one that is in the first season that he kind of beamed down and changed something on the planet. I don't know. Give us your opinion, guys. What do you think would be a good episode to do for Kirk? I'm sorry, I'm trying to talk to Mary Beth and you guys at the same time. And her internet's down. Okay. Well, so we probably won't see Mary Beth again. Let's just reboot, call it a show. Let me see. What's Roy's got the coming up? I think is it Sunday. He has the tribute to what's his name? Somebody help me out. I am terrible. Let me go look on Roy's page. Roy's tie-dye sci-fi corner. Brian Johnson, right? So he's doing a tribute to there, so that should be cool. So if you could watch that, I think he's doing that early. I think it was like a 4:00 show, if I'm not mistaken. But beyond that, I don't know what we're going to do next week. As usual, because I haven't thought of it, and I'm going to be on vacation for them starting tomorrow. So I'll come up with something. I always do. But other than that, we'll come up maybe once a month. We'll do one of these Star Trek Kirk Effect. Maybe we'll do Picard Effect. Just mix it in there a little bit. But I think we'll stick with Kirk because he always seems to make the biggest mess of things. At least in his mind, or at least in our mind and not in his own. So on that note, guys, I'll end early since Mary Beth's having so much internet trouble. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And as always, live long and prosper. And may the force be with you. All right. Good night, folks.